The other way to perform this function is to find the value of g of 3, and then you use that output as the input for f of x. So what is g of 3? Well, g of x is 2 of x, so g of 3 is 2 times 3, which equals 6. So g of 3 equals 6. We use that output and we put it in this input. So f of g of 3, or f of 6, is going to be 6 squared minus 4 times 6, 36 minus 24, which equals 12. Which is the same answer. Those are always going to come up with the same answer if you do it correctly, but you can do it either way, and just depends on your personal preference or which one becomes easier for you. The third example is we want to see if f of g of x is the same as g of f of x. And so let's see if this is what it comes up with. F of g of x would be, remember, we want to write it this way, or at least I do, because I know g of x is the input for that. So we're going to do 2 times 7x minus 3 equals 14x minus 3. Okay, so now let's try to swap it, and we have g of f of x, and f of x goes in this x. So we have 7 times 2x minus 3 equals 14x minus 21. And you can see clearly these do not come up with the same answers. So those are not the same. Now, the second step is we want to evaluate f of g of 3 and g of f of 3. Well, since we've already evaluated f of g of x, we can just plug in the 3 here. So that would be 14 times 3 minus 3 equals 42 minus 3 equals 39. And then we have g of f of 3, which is 14x minus 21. But instead of x, we're going to put in 3. And we have 42 minus 21 equals 21. Again, you are not going to have the same answers. They are not the same thing when you change the order. The last one we're going to do is sometimes you're going to have 3 compositions, and you're going to, you really want to start from the inside, but we're going to find f of g of h of x. So the first thing I want to focus on is this part. What is g of h of x? Well, we've already been doing this all day long, so we should know how to do g of h of x. We want to take this output and put it in as an input for g of x. So this is just going to be 4x squared minus 5. So now we want to find f of 4x squared minus 5, and we put this in for the x and f of x. So it's negative 2 times 4x squared minus 5, and that equals negative 8x squared plus 10. And that is your answer. So you can do multiple levels of compositions. Just always remember to start on the inside and work your way out. I hope that answers your questions. This can be a confusing topic, but once you get the process down, it should be very easy. So good luck.